Welcome to another empowering episode of The Road to Victory. In today's show, we have a special guest joining us, Christine, a renowned spiritual coach who will guide us through the fascinating world of the law of karma and the law of attraction. Together, we will explore how these universal principles can be harnessed for unrevealing success in our personal and professional lives. In this captivating episode, titled Unleashing the Power of Cause and Effect, Understanding the Law of Attraction, we delve deep into the secrets of manifesting our desires and aligning our thoughts, emotions, and actions to bring about positive outcomes. Furthermore, we will unravel the mysteries of finding our true purpose in life as Christine lead us on a transformative journey filled with inspiration and self-discovery. Through her expert guidance, we will gain valuable knowledge and practical tools to unlock our fullest potential, enable us to create the life we truly desire. Through this episode, we aim to empower you with the realization of your own magnificent and boundless power that resides waiting in you. Join us on this transformative journey. So get ready to embark on an enlightening adventure as we explore the remarkable power of cause and effect, masterfully unravel the law of attraction, uncover the keys to finding your purpose in life. Join us on this insightful episode of The Road to Victory as we unleash on these extraordinary capabilities within in ourselves and pave the way to our ultimate success. Let's dive in and unlock the limitless possibilities that wait on us. Hello, Christine. Welcome to our podcast, The Road to Victory. Thank you for joining us today.
Hello.
Can you tell us a little bit about your journey and what led you to specialize in this?
Yes. My first memories of my psychic gift were when I was 5 years old. But I had varying degrees of it over my life. When I was a teenager, I was very embarrassed by it because teenagers, you want to be normal, and it didn't make me feel normal. So I would shut it out, and I would do anything I could to shut it out, and I ended up working in the corporate world, just going, and ignoring my gift and being busy, trying to ignore it, basically. And I ended up in 2 car accidents in one day, one on the way home from the hospital from the first one. And I ended up bedridden for 10 years. And so, but that was my guides like, okay, you're not going to listen to your gift. You're going to ignore it. I mean, I missed like 500 signs telling me, to not ignore my gift. So this didn't just happen
you have to do
out of the
something
blue.
else.
I had been ignoring it for years and years. Yeah. So I ended up bedridden, and now you're in bed, and what else are you going to do? So I couldn't really hide from my gift anymore. And that's when I started using it. And I started doing readings for my friends and my family. And then people are like, you should make a business. And I was like, oh no, I don't, no. I don't want to do it. I was like, no, I was kicking and screaming. But finally in 2011, I opened my business, and, at the time I had some jaw issues and I still couldn't talk, and I was bedridden when I opened my business. So that's why it started all doing my readings are through email. That's how it started, through email, because I literally couldn't talk at the time. And I've just kept it that way. I can work with people all over the world, and they can read it on their own schedule. And it's just worked really well for me. But yeah, that's just, and then I started delving into classes in the Akashic Records and healing modalities, and just, I got certified as a life coach, and it was kind of life coaching myself back to life again, and after being bedridden and all that. And then I just kind of brought that over and to help others now.
Awesome. Great. How long are you been doing this for? How long are you been doing?
2011. Yeah, 2011 is when I started the business. Yeah.
Almost 12 years already?
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. Can you explain the concept of the law of attraction and how it relates to achieving success?
Well, the law of attraction, this is one that's pretty important. I think explaining it in terms of love is kind of an easier one for people to understand. If let's say you're wanting someone that's their best, highest self, and you want this, like your person is perfect, but then you're not treating yourself well, you're harming yourself, you're making bad choices, you're not even going to be on the same, you know, wavelength as this person. They won't even come into your circle. Like they won't even get close to you. So it's about, it's about being what you want. If you want someone that treats you well, then you got to look at how you're neglecting yourself. You got to look at how you're not taking care of yourself. You got to look at your choices, because you are going to attract, you know, how you're treating yourself. And that happens with a lot of abuse, and it becomes a
like
vicious cycle, because
right?
And they get stuck in that cycle, and then they get, they feel worse about themselves because they're in this situation. And then you attract the abuse, and you're hurting yourself by staying, and then that energy, and it just builds up, and it just gets worse and worse.
It's depends on how you treat yourself. You're gonna attract this person based on you.
Yes,
Also
and obviously how you treat others as well. If you're you know, really bad to others, you're not gonna attract you know, too. But most of the time, I find it comes to yourself, because you know, so many clients, I find they're neglecting themselves. They're putting everyone else first. They're putting themselves on the back burner, which, when you do that out of depletion, when you don't fill yourself up first, you don't have much to give. And what you're giving these people is lack. So like if it's your kids, you're giving them lack, and they're growing up in the lack, and they're going to continue that. Whereas if they see you filling yourself up, showing that you are important too, they will gain that as well. And it goes for everyone around you, but you got to fill yourself up first, or you're just going to be depleted eventually. And there's not much, you're not helping anyone. But when you're filled, you can help so many more people. Like it's just like on a airplane, the oxygen mask, you have to put it on yourself first, or everyone's going to die. And there's no point, you know, you have to do it first. So important.
So you can help yourself first, and then you can help another people, right? How can individuals apply the principles of the law of attraction in their daily lives to attract success?
I mean, that's the same thing. Like if you're wanting this big job,
right?
If you want this big job, or whatever it is you want, but you're, you know, eating on the couch all day and not taking any actions towards that, you know, it's all about what you're doing. And if you're doing things out of an energy that's the opposite of what you want, you know, you need to kind of be that. One thing, sometimes, like I tell my clients, like, if you want a job or relationship, whatever it is, what would you do differently once you're there? That's what you need to do. Would you wear makeup if you don't? Would you not wear makeup? Would you dress up? Would you get up earlier? Like, start living like you have that job, so you can be in that vibration. If you're just sleeping all day and eating Cheetos or whatever, you're not going to be in that vibration to get it. Yeah.
Yes, that's cool. In your experience, how spirituality play a role in achieving success? Can you share any personal anecdotes?
I think that it's so important, and I see spirituality as just living from your soul. You know, there's so many words about spirituality, but it shouldn't be like this separate practice. It should be your whole life. You know, it's not just like, oh, I'm going to throw it in over here in the corner, but then I'm going to go and live a completely different life. It's about consistently building it more in your life and just living from your soul. So many people, they choose to stay around people they don't want to be around, but they feel obligated. Obligation is a huge, when you're doing something out of obligation and you don't really want to, that's automatically going against your soul. That's it. Like it's about cleaning up you can just do little things to clean up in your life where you're more centered in you. You are here to live you and experience you. On the other side, we're all one. And it's hard to see and feel how we are different from each other. So we take our whole infinite body and we squeeze it into these human bodies, which is not easy. And so that we can see the difference is between us, and we can really learn and be us and learn about ourselves through the experience. So when you're living for other people or doing everything for them and putting yourself last again, you're not doing that. And that's what we're here for.
What are some common misconceptions about the law of attraction and spirituality?
I think a lot of misconceptions on the law of attraction is that you just think, you just change your thoughts, and that's it. Which your thoughts are important because they lead to your actions, but your thoughts do not create. It's like thinking about, I want a salad for lunch, right? And then you say, oh, wait, no, I changed my mind. I want chicken for lunch. Chicken and salad doesn't just come. You have to actually go and take the actions and make it. Our thoughts are so we can try it on before we get the consequences of it. We could try it on in our head and be like, no, I don't think I want that. I changed my mind because if we just manifested everything we thought of, the world would be pretty crazy, So I think a lot of people think you just need to think good thoughts and that's just going to manifest everything, which your thoughts are important. You don't want to you want to try to control them to some degree that you're not going to. One thing you need to know, you're going to be uncomfortable. And I think that stops a lot of people. They think it's just going to be easy, but anything that you're changing and that's worth it, there's going to be some uncomfortability as you move and you change your vibration. So when you start taking different actions than you're doing, your vibration starts to change. And when you're in the middle of that, when you're not quite where you were, but you're not quite where you're going yet, it's uncomfortable and it feels uncomfortable. And that a lot of people, it stops them because they think, oh, it's not meant to be. It's uncomfortable. But that's not true. That shows you that you're actually moving forward. And so many people, I work with this in the Akashic Records, is I can find what's blocking them from what their goal is. And, it usually started in a past life. So you may be doing something you're just so used to, you might have been doing it for 5 lives and it's just so normal to you, you don't even see that that's blocking you. And the tricky part is a good choice for one person could be a horrible choice for another. It just depends on who you are at soul level. So, there's not black and white. This is a good choice. This is a bad choice. Because what's horrible for someone could be a really positive choice for someone else. And you have to go by your choices, what's best for you.
Always looking the best for you and good. So why the universe tests us?
Oh, this is a good one. Okay. Like I was saying before, your thoughts, you can say, oh, okay, I learned from this relationship. I learned that I don't want that. I learned this negative thing that I'm doing, but you can think it, you can say it all day long. But if the next person comes around that's doing the same thing and you take them in, you didn't learn it and you're not ready to move to the next level. I think it comes up a lot in relationships because before we meet our long-term partner, we have learning relationships and they're like training wheels and they teach us what we need to know to be ready for the right person. And that's why people get stuck in the same kind of relationships over and over, just different people, because they didn't learn from the learning relationship. They say they did. They say, oh, I'll never want that again. But then there they are, the next person comes around. So the universe and our guides try to test us to see if we truly learned or we're just saying it. Because again, actions are what counts, not what we think or what we say. If you do the complete opposite, it doesn't matter. So it's just to prove to them that you really have learned the lesson. Then you're ready for the next step. And that works in not just relationships, just all in life. If you keep saying, I'm going to make changes and you don't, you haven't proved you're ready.
Yeah, we must take responsibility for what is in our lives, right?
Definitely. Every single thing in our lives is because of our choices. Now, sometimes it started in a past life. So like children that are born into abuse, a lot of they hurt themselves in some way at the end. Now, if they fixed that problem before they died and they grew out of that, they're not going to be born into abuse. But if they like killed themselves or something like that, you start in each life where you left off in the last. So they are, you've got to start in abusive situations. So that's why it's like, oh, it's not fair when it's kids. And yes, but that soul made that choice. It didn't just happen like that. And I think when people realize that, they start looking closer at what is in their lives and the choices they made to attract that. That's the key. Because if you blame everyone else or say, oh, this person did this to me, but what did you do to attract that in the first place? It's all our choices, every single thing.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. I mean, and a lot of times people can't see it. That's why I find those things.
Yeah. We must learn from our mistakes, right? Because we keep doing the same thing, we're gonna we trap it in the same loop, right? So
yeah, and that's the thing. There really are no mistakes. Because if you make a mistake, you learn from it. So some people are so afraid to do anything because they don't want to make a mistake. But you're better off making a mistake than standing still, because you learn from that mistake and you're going to go forward. Whereas if you stand still in this fear of making any choices, you're not moving at all. So
you're growing. So
it's much
you're growing. How can someone overcome self-doubt and fear in order to pursue their true passion?
Yeah, this is a hard one, and we're human, and we all have been through so many things, and it can be hard, but it's about aligning with who you are and trusting yourself and working through it and getting used to the uncomfortable. I think that's really important in so many things, because you're going to have those fears, you're going to have those doubts, but the person that's where you want to be, they went through it. They just kept going anyway. And that's important. I mean, you can't just let it stop you. It's hard. But as you build your confidence and you keep pushing past those fears and you have more confidence and trust in yourself, they go away. Or they'll come and you'll just laugh at them and be like, oh yeah, please no. I don't know. I don't need that anymore. I don't believe that. And it's just about, it's confidence, and you just got to push through it. It's not fun, but learning that the uncomfortability brings better.
Where confidence come from?
Confidence. It's really from trial and error, and
trial and error, right?
Yeah, trial and error and learning and seeing how you made the right choices this time. It's like a teenager is like so unconfident and just like they don't know themselves. But the more you know yourself and you truly are yourself and you're being true to yourself, it just comes. It's, everyone has problems with it at some point. Like there's always going to be some self doubts and all that. But confidence is just from having that fear and doing it anyway. And then later on, remembering last time I did it anyway. So this time I can do the same. And it's just about knowing yourself and also not taking things so seriously. Sometimes we take things so seriously and it's like, oh, I don't want to, but just have fun. Like we're all human, and be kind to yourself and realize you're human. So many people put so much more pressure on themselves than they do anyone else. And just, have some slack for yourself. That's all.
Yeah. Have fun and enjoy life, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's why we're here. I mean, it just, so you get so serious, but it's hard not to, because there's so much serious stuff in the world, and it's just about finding that balance.
And knowing yourself. It takes time to know yourself and your capabilities and what you can do. And
definitely,
as you said,
definitely, and that's just
if you've done it before, you're gonna do it again and again and again. So,
and that's the key.
What are some signs or indicators that someone is on the right path towards fulfilling their purpose?
Well, that uncomfortability, that dissonance, it's when we're in that middle of the vibration and we're actually moving somewhere, things will break down You'll have to repair things. Now, those things don't match the vibration of where you're going. And that is a good sign. A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, everything is breaking down. Everything is going haywire at once. And this is awful. But I get excited when those things happen now, because it's like, oh, I know I'm getting closer. And you got to fix those things though. I've seen people don't move forward for a long time just because they didn't fix a printer, or they just didn't take care of what they needed to. And that's the thing. When you're moving forward, everything that you didn't take care of that you need to be in that next level is going to pop up. Probably in the worst possible way, in the worst possible timing, but that's just how it is. But it's a blessing. It's showing you what needs to be fixed, what needs to be worked on, so you can move towards your goal. And it's not fun. It's just a part we have to go through. And that's why if you keep things clean and try to take care of things and not leave things and not procrastinate, it can make that a lot easier. If you do have a lot of stuff that needs to be taken care of, that time can be like, whew. And so many people stop there. They're like, oh, just like with the dissonant, everything's going wrong. Not a good sign. I'm not doing any. And then they stay in that, and it's not fun. So just take care of what you need to take care of. It's worth it.
Yeah. Be mindful of your actions. Wasting time because you have to go back and fix all the things you need to fix before.
Yep.
And all the waste of time.
Everything
and
will come back
like
to you.
Domino effect.
Everything. Yep. And it may not happen right away. Karma is not always instant. It's usually not. It may be years later. It may be, and also karma, there's good karma too that comes back to us as well. So you want it, but karma, what's interesting is, again, one person could make a choice that's negative for them, but somebody else, that's a positive choice for them. It depends on who they are at soul level and what's best for them. So it's not black and white. It's not a blanket for everyone. This is, now, obviously there are certain things that are, you don't want to step in front of somebody else's free will or hurt somebody else. You never want to do that. But yeah, everything comes back. And it may hit you way later on, but it comes back. There's no escaping it.
We are the creators
something
of
that's
our
interesting
lives, right?
And something that's also interesting, I think a lot of people don't know, when you die, when you cross over, you feel everything that you caused to everybody else, how they felt it, whether you knew you caused it.
Seriously?
Just like a ripple effect. You do one thing and it builds up. You may never even known you did that, but you will feel that. So if you cause a lot of love, you have a much more pleasant crossing over experience, but you feel that. So you can't escape it no matter what.
So do good things, and you're gonna have good things in return. So always do things even no one is watching. Right?
Yeah. And another thing is it's tricky with that though, because good things, there are people that do good things but have bad intent, like, oh, I'm going to do this to look. It's all about the energy and the intent you have behind it. So if you're doing something really good but your intent is not good, and it seems, that's not, you can't do that. It's all about your energy and where you're coming from, where your intent is. That's
the intention, right? The intention. Wow. How card readings or divination tools like tarot, they are all understanding one's path to success. Can they be used as a guidance for decision making?
They can. This is a little tricky. Now, these tools can help you to build your psychic abilities or your intuition as well. But it can be a little tricky because some people don't know. They're just asking the cards. The cards are objects. They don't have a soul. They don't know it. These are tools to connect with who you're connecting with. Now, a lot of people go into it not specific who they're connecting with. So you could just be having any spirit come through. You could be, it's important, usually you want to connect with the spirit guide, your spirit guide, the spirit guide of the person you're reading for. That is really, where you want to connect. But so many people, they don't make clear, and that can leave for, I teach intuition coaching and things like that. And it's just so many people just go into that and they think they're asking the cards, like the cards are these magical souls, but they're an object, just like a pendulum. You can use that. That's a tool, but you're not talking to the rock on the string. You're talking, you're using it for whoever you're talking to on the other side to use it. So again, it's about intent and being clear, keeping your energy clean too when you're going into something and you're not clean and you're picking up a lot of negativity. And so I do get a little iffy about those things, anyone just picking them up and doing that. But also have the good intent, practice with them. It helps build, it's like a crutch. It's really like crutches. If you're building your intuition, you're not ready yet to do it on your own and get the messages, through your intuition. The cards help you, and more you do it, you build that intuition. But just have good intent when you're going into it, and be clear that you're contacting a higher being, a spirit guide. Don't just go willy-nilly like
that. Like getting. Can you discuss the importance of gratitude and its connection to achieving success?
Oh, this is a good one. So important. If you're not thankful for what you have, why is anything else going to come your way? Why would anything else come your way? You have to be thankful. And if you don't celebrate your successes, this is a big one. A lot of people, they reach their goals and then they just move on. Celebrate it. Show the universe that's what you want. Like you did it. Like, take the time to celebrate it and be grateful. And so many, I have nothing to be grateful for. I mean, if you have running water, if you have heat, if you have a blanket, like wherever you are, we're all in different places, but be thankful for what it is. You have legs, just whoever you are, be thankful for what and know that anything could be taken away, just really stay in that gratitude. And when you are like constantly, it's like, you want to water the flowers, not the weeds. So if you're constantly complaining about something that's negative or talking about something that's negative, you're only going to attract more of that. Why is anything positive going to come to you? Because that's all you're putting your focus on. So when something happens, yes, obviously you got to process and stuff, but just try not to get stuck on it. Make sure you're watering the flowers more than you're watering the weeds. And, I have a daily practice of this. When I do my meditation, I always, I say, what I'm grateful for, and you try to be present when you can, even when you're eating your food. Like, take a few extra moments to like savor the bite, really taste it. So many people just shove it down and are doing a million other things. Taste it, be grateful. There's people right now that don't have any food at all, like, and water, and like, just no matter where you are, there is something you can be grateful for, and focus on that. And then that energy builds, and then you can attract more. But don't water those weeds. Nope. You're going to get more of them.
Yeah. Need to realize what we have in order to attract what we need, right? Because we have everything. You have maybe water, roof. These normal things are normal for us. But what if we don't have these things? That's sometimes I think this negative, just this negative like perspective. What if though I don't have the things that I have right now? What if I don't doing what I'm doing? What if I in this change my mind? I have these shifts, and that's that moment I'm thankful, and you're like, okay, you realize something like,
I mean, even if you just have like a finger or an arm or a hand, like, not everyone has those things. And I used that a lot when I was bedridden. Yeah, when I was bedridden, I remember I was in pain. I was in such a bad place, but I would start thinking, I'm so lucky. I'm in a house with heat right now. I could be going through this on the streets in the cold right now. I could be in this pain in the cold. And that would help me to, even though it was such a hard time, to put it in perspective. I could be out in the streets, with no blanket, no nothing, So it's about perspective. And no matter where you are and what you have, there's always something. If you have one toe, like like not everyone has not everyone has these things. So I think that really helped me through a hard time, is seeing how much worse.
Yeah, use these little moments of pain and these little moments of pain, and later you're gonna be okay. But use this. How can I learn from this? You shift your perspective from the pain to how can I learn from this? And that's another it's a different
always
perspective
something
where
you can learn
you
from
can
it.
tackle the problem, right?
Yeah. And a lot of the times people stay stuck in this stuff because they aren't learning from it, and they just make it worse by, oh, this is awful. And then it just becomes like a whole thing. But like sometimes we don't have to go through it that long. Maybe we learn the lesson and then, oh, look, we're better. And then we move forward. But again, it depends on your choices of how you look at it. But it's hard when you're in the moment. I know that. Like it took me a while,
We complain instead of be grateful. That's the shit, okay? What advice you give to listeners who are curious about integrating the spirituality into their quest for success, but are unsure where to start?
Yeah. Gosh, I think meditation is a really good place because it can bring you closer to who you are and relax some. But I know to some people that's too far out and they don't want to do that. But it's all about using it in your everyday life. Like I was saying, just, appreciate the food, concentrate on the bite, appreciate the water, like find it all around you. And just be sure you're not having obligation all over your life. Like, look at your life. Who are you surrounding yourself with? If you're with all these people you don't want to be with, or they're only bringing you down, like, let's create a better environment for you so you can grow and move forward. It can be as simple as just working on your everyday life, of looking at it and looking at what isn't working for you and doing something. So many people just stay in it, and then that just creates more worse circumstances. And so it can be very spiritual to say goodbye to some people that shouldn't be in your life anymore. Or, as simple as that, or habits that you're doing that aren't right for you. It's just it can be so many different things.
People,
it doesn't have to be like channeling something. Yeah. And that can be hard. Sometimes when you're so close to something, it's hard to see. Like if you're looking at something like this, you can't really see it clearly because you're in it. So it can be hard. That's why I can help sometimes, and just I can see it from a broader angle and kind of pinpoint it more for my clients. But when you're so in it, it can be hard. But it all boils down to, like, how do you feel when you're around that person? How do you feel when you're at your job? How do you feel when you do something? Does it feel right? Like, really get in touch with your feelings in your gut. Does that feel right or not? That's what it really comes down to. So many people numb themselves and try to avoid those feelings, and then it just builds up and they stay in these situations that aren't good for them, and it just makes it worse and worse and worse. But it all comes down to feeling, letting yourself feel the true feelings. Don't numb them, feel them, and realize, oh, wait, I'm numbing this because I don't want to be around this person. Maybe I need to move forward and not have them, in my life anymore. I think it comes down to really let yourself feel how you feel in that situation. And it can be hard. I mean, it's not easy taking those steps, but it's worth it if you want to move forward. It's a lot harder staying in it than it is, going through momentarily like uncomfortableness. It's a lot harder to be at your deathbed and be like, wow, I stayed in that all that time when I could have created, I could have done this, I could have been, it's a lot worse staying than going through that temporary uncomfortableness,
Uncomfortable. How do you help your clients reach their goals as a spiritual coach?
I mostly work with in a soul realignment reading and clearing that I do. I can find what their purpose gift is, and from that we can build on what choices are best for them. And I go and I look in the Akashic records to see what choices are in the way of what they are trying to manifest. And I clear them energetically. So it makes it easier for them to make the right choices. They still have to make the right choices, but that overlaying thing that may have been there for many lives where they're just used to making that choice, that's gone. They feel better energetically. So it's easier to see clearly and make that choice because it kind of clears it up a bit. But yeah, it's all about getting to my client's soul, who they are at soul level, and helping them towards what they really want and helping them use their gifts. And the more you use your purpose gift, the more you do that, the better, the more abundant, just everything. It's so important. If you don't, you're like a walking zombie. You're just living someone else's life. So that's what we're here for. And to use your gift and I can help them find that and see the blocks and help them see, like I said, when you're in it, people they'll be like, oh, I didn't even notice that. It's like the most clearest thing ever on the outside, so I can kind of give an outside perspective and kind of see. It's kind of my gift is to see what's in the way of what they want and help them with that.
In your experience, how can individuals align themselves with their spiritual purpose? How can they find their spiritual purpose?
Yeah. And that can be hard because so many have so many blocks and negativity over lives that have built up so that they're not seeing clearly. And they may think this is one thing's their purpose when it's not. So it can be tricky. And I want to be clear, a purpose is not like a job, like, oh, I'm going to, it can be used in a job. It should be, but it's like the energy that's your gift that you can, and you use it in what you want to do. There's free will, you use it in what you want to do. But the more you use it, the better and more abundant your life gets. But one thing it breaks down to is so many people don't realize what their gift is because it's so easy to them. It comes so easy to them that they think it comes easy to everybody else too, but it doesn't. That's the thing. They think, oh, well, everyone can do it because it's so easy to them. They don't think it's like this big thing. And it's so, without me going in your Akashic records, like think about what comes easy to you, like what is so natural. And it can be hard to see again when you're in it. But yeah, that's a big thing. Like so many people, oh, I didn't know that was a gift. They don't even know it's a gift because they don't realize that not everybody else has it. Not everybody else can do that as easily. It comes easy and they think, oh, it's nothing because it comes so easy. So, without me helping you find it, look in and feel what's been easy for you. What is easy for you to do and what is just natural to you. And that can help you get there.
How has spirituality played a role in achieving success? Can you share any personal anecdotes?
I mean, I think it's very important because now some people can get success and, there's negative people out there that aren't living, a spiritual life. And, but then you see later on, it all comes crashing down. So being centered with yourself, making the right choices, building that foundation in the right way. So you have that secure foundation to build on. Whereas, yes, some people may go the wrong way and they may get all the success, but that's about to crumble at some point. So just spirituality is really being within you, living your soul. That's what you're here for. Just making the right choices, enjoying your food, being grateful. It's everything. It's your life. It's not just this little practice you do for an hour on one day. No, like find it, like see the colors in the trees, see the colors in the flowers. Like you can look into them and you can get states of consciousness from that. You can feel what the trees are feeling. Like there's always another level you can open up to, but find it wherever you are. Just like no matter where you are, you can find it. You can one blade of grass or that one leaf and just center back in and try to pull back from when everything gets so crazy and stressful, and just try to take a bigger perspective, I think, overall. But spirituality is everything. It's just, it can be in everything. And I think that's the key, is to find it in everything you do, to be present. Being present is so important. If you're not present, you're just missing it. Why, just really take your time to, like, okay, I'm right here, look at this pretty color, look, just really, presence is a big one. That's a big part of spirituality. But yeah, find it in everything. Make it a living practice, not just something you do once a week for an hour.
Once a week. Yeah. So thank you so much. We finished. Yeah. Whatever you create in your life, you must first create it in your imagination. You can imagine in your mind, you can experience it in your reality. What you think, you become. What you feel, you attract. What you imagine, you create. These profound words serve as a gentle reminder that each and every one of us possess an inherent power, a divine spark capable of manifesting incredible possibilities in our lives. No matter how daunting our current circumstance may appear, this quote reassures us that we have the ability to shape our destinies and create the future we truly desire. Christine's guidance has illuminated our path towards self-discovery and personal growth and spiritual alignment. She has reminded us that our dreams are not mere figments of our imagination, but rather tangible aspirations waiting to be nurtured and realized. Through her expertise, she has teaching us to embrace the infinite blessings and abundant success that await us on our individual journeys. Remember that despite the challenge we face, the universe is conspiring in our favor, gently nudging us towards our destined greatness. May this episode empower you with the realization that you hold the key creating the life you desire. Embrace your magnificence and trust the journey of self-discovery as you navigate towards finding your purpose in life. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video insightful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more empowering content. If you have any questions or want to share your experience, don't hesitate to leave a comment below. Remember, you have the power to create the life you desire. Stay positive, attract abundance. Until next time. Thanks so much, Christine.